Okay, this is a video I actually really want to watch for a while. I think Asmongold also made a react to this, which kind of sucks because I found it before him, okay? I saw this video before him, like I saw it in my feed. I just didn't watch it yet. So he beat me to it, but oh, there he is, yeah. There he is reacting to it right there. Okay, but let's see. This is by Bellular Warcraft. Let's see what he was saying about this shit.
Time is often the enemy. It's the one thing that we just can never get back. So if you could pay for more time, would you?
Of course.
There's a concept rising to problem. It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Simply put, it's when you go to sleep later than you should. And you've likely been there before and felt the intense dread as you set your alarm. Your alarm is set for 2 hours and 17 minutes from now. You know that you're the one to blame for this situation, but you did it anyway, and it's probably not the first time. What you're trying to do is buy some more time. Or more accurately, you're borrowing time from your own future, and with heavy interest. To quote Matthew Walker, a leading sleep scientist, the shorter you sleep, the shorter your lifespan.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, if you do the math, right? Let's say you sleep here. Hello? Can I get a calculator going? Thank you. Bro, just give me a fucking calculator. Okay, so let's say you sleep 6 hours, right? So it's a quarter, right? I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. It should be 6 over 24. It's a quarter. Let's say average. What's the average lifespan? 72.6 global average, US. 78. Let's just do 80, right? Let's just do 80. Like, say 80, right? So, you know, so you sleep 20 years out of your life. Now, let's say you want to sleep 8 hours, right? But, oh yeah, sorry. You sleep 6 hours, so you sleep less. So let's say from 80, you lose like 5 years of your life because you sleep less. You know what? Even like 10, right? Now, so you have 70 times 0.25, right? So now you slept for 17 and a half years, which means you lived for 52.5. Meanwhile, with the 80, you live for 60 years. Okay. 80 minus 60. Okay. Now, let's assume you sleep the 8 hours. Let's say so you have the 80. You sleep for 8 hours, so that's a third, right? So 80 times you sleep 8 divided by 24. So you slept for 26.6. Now 80 minus 26.6, that's 53.4. So if you sleep 6 or if you sleep 8, you live approximately the same amount of time, really. The only thing is you have more hours throughout the day, so you feel like you can accomplish more because you don't stop yourself early. And the other thing is, I give like 10 years. There's no way it's a difference of 10 years. It's probably a difference of like 5, 8, maybe. It's usually like around 5 years, right? So let's say you sleep, you live for 75 and you sleep for 6 hours a day. Okay, so that means you sleep for 18.75 minus 75. Boom, you already live longer than if you slept 8 hours a day, right? So I feel like, yeah, you might live longer, but you actually live less. Like you're awake less, so does it really matter?
The point is, we all buy time in some form.
Yes.
We sell it too.
Boosts, brother. Boosts is buying time.
The very concept of a job is often described as selling your time to your employer.
Yep.
Time has always been the only irreplaceable thing we have, so our ancient ancestors invented things like...
Man, I feel like I can't replace my leg, my dick, Yeah, like I was saying, I can live without it. I just can't replace it. I'm just saying, you know, this is what it is, bro.
Currency to make their time and the output of it tradable.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, and from DoorDash to Uber to Amazon Prime, we go to work to trade our time for money. Then we get home, and we
scary.
trade some of that money back into time.
Yep.
The specter of the next day looms, the clock ticks. We all wish we had just a little bit more time.
Always, bro, always. I never want to go to sleep because I wish I had more time.
This feeling, and that was video games.
Oh yeah, brother.
Video games were a reprieve. There was none.
God, this looked like shit back in the day. With this fucking bar. Ugh, disgusting.
Spoken
Hey,
game developer.
Gol nefesh.
Virtual worlds built were an escape.
Pui.
Azeroth never cared that you had instant ramen again tonight. For a modest fee,
Mm-hmm.
you could log in and be just as rich or poor in gold,
Bro,
loot, and skill.
instant ramen is the shit, by the way. I actually want to go to TNT, it's like an Asian superstore, and just buy like a 24 pack of like instant ramen. It's so good.
As anyone else.
Priscilla.
There were a handful of MMOs around, 20 years of RPGs before, but WoW just hit differently.
Yeah,
Azeroth had
it
so
was smooth.
many ways for you to spend time and get rewarded for it.
Bardashir.
Mirroring the real world, but on a more enjoyable scale. Amid all
Yeah.
the exploration and adventure, you could even build virtual skills and do virtual work. Like, spend a few days of your time working on your herbalism or your alchemy, and then sell the results.
Few days of your time, bro. What are you talking about? It took like weeks. Or it took a day if you knew what you were doing. I don't know.
To somebody for some gold.
Yeah.
It was a genuine virtual world. Its own economy,
Yep.
isolated from reality. Every player left just as much of their lives at the login screen as they could, and that included their wallet. As long as the barrier between the real
Yeah.
and the virtual held up, the World of Warcraft would stay the place to do some satisfying
Leroy
virtual
Jenkins.
work. Just could not last.
Pelts for
One
life.
Crucial flaw. And the more you grow,
Time
the
is
more you'll
money,
be able to
friend.
learn more of both. If you can
Good.
combine skills that are not often found together,
Oh, please don't tell me it's Skillshare again.
you'll be super powered. Skillshare,
Fuck.
today's sponsor, is your gateway to this. The first link are going to get a
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I use Skillshare. First of all, pain in the ass to get your like when you cancel and stuff, like a bit of a annoyance. Maybe they fixed it now, but it was a bit annoying to quit. And also, like, there's legit nothing. I haven't found one thing in Skillshare that was worth. Forget the money, was worth the time to like watch through. It was so useless.
month of Skillshare Premium for free. Now recently we've talked about things like game development skills in the Unity engine. But I want to talk about general productivity. It's a complete superpower. It is a score multiplier.
It is. Unfortunately, nothing in Skillshare is actually like properly talking about it.
For all that you do. Ali Abdal is one of the best examples
Yep.
because he, a fellow World of Warcraft player and self-confessed waste man, has managed to grow a wildly successful business here on YouTube and off platform as well. He did so using skills and lessons that he will teach you on Skillshare. Whether you are like me and wanting to do a bit better at work, or perhaps you're a
Had nothing to do with this product. Like I'm pretty sure that's one of the classes I took. Like I was watching, and it's like, bro, like common sense doesn't even begin to describe how useless what he says is. It's literally like the most common of common sense things. It's like, bro, like seriously, like this is what I paid for. Like it's so bad.
student who wants to nail their exams, Ali has you covered.
No,
Especially
no, he
his
doesn't.
Productivity Masterclass. It's one of the all-time greats. Straight.
Bro, you like okay, here's like you wanna ace your classes, okay? Before you go to sleep, the last thing you should read is stuff for that class, okay? You're gonna memorize it and internalize it a lot better. Okay? Study for your fucking exams. Literally study for your exams. Try to memorize as much as you can. Give yourself small chapters. to read and internalize them. Give yourself small rewards as you read to keep motivating yourself to read shit. Like some people use like gummy bears at the end of each chapter or something like that, or like at the end of each page, whatever. Like motivate yourself to read it. Make sure that you don't read too much because you're not going to internalize everything. Read in small paragraphs, internalize, move on. Like this, like it's so dumb. It's so useless. It's crazy.
To get access today, the first 1,000 to click my link will get a month of Skillshare Premium for free. Hell, they'll even teach you jazz piano as well.
Yeah, sure.
There's a problem with this concept of a virtual world. Gold has no direct real-world equivalent.
Kind of. I mean, wasn't supposed to.
When you sit down to play, you are turning your real time into virtual time in-game to get virtual progress.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, if you think about it that way, I mean, technically you're doing nothing. Like, imagine spending all your time in a game, like, let's say, Nostalrius, and then it gets wiped, and it's all wasted time. I often think about this, like, let's say I'm playing WoW for, like, the last 30 years, and then eventually the game just fucking, like, dies, and no one plays it. Did I just waste 30 years of my life playing this game? Right? And again, like some people like, oh, well, it was, like all the memories you have, all the people you met. It's like, bro, I ain't talking to anybody I met on WoW. All right? It's like, why do I even play WoW? Because I like it. I don't know. But I also like the main thing that made me play WoW is that like my character had progress and stuff like that. So, like it felt like I'm progressing my character. If the character gets wiped, man, like I would literally feel that I just wasted my life playing this game. And again, it is true. Like no matter what I do, at some point, it is gonna be true. Either the game dies or I die, and then everything I did in the game is useless because if I don't log in, the character doesn't actually exist.
Everything that might be called progress.
How's that for a
is
brain
bought
fuck?
with time. Farming gold takes time. Getting a dungeon group together takes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
Raids even more.
Yep.
At the end game,
Why does it look familiar?
time is the only solid barrier to progress thanks to those weekly lockouts. Yes, there are elements of skill, but lots of in-game walls can be climbed if you just had enough time. Even all the way back in vanilla,
What the fuck is going
there
on
were
here?
ways to trade gold for more time. Flight
Yeah.
paths, mounts, and the incredible player economy filling the auction house with
Mhm.
more powerful gear and consumables to make your leveling and playing just a bit faster.
Yeah.
To feel more powerful. At least up until the end game, with of course BOP gear keeping things sort of fair. For the most part, if you want it.
No, it doesn't. The BOP gear did not keep shit fair. It kept shit unfair, if anything, because RNG was never fair. It's not like you have a bad luck protection as it goes on. It's like if three people need the bracelet or whatever of the Windseeker from the boss in Molten Core, and it drops only once every like 30 clears, and you never get you/roll and you get the lowest roll every time, bro. Like that's not fair. That's just fucking dog shit design.
The best,
You did the work, you can't get the reward. That's not good. That's, bro, the whole system in WoW. You do the work, you don't get the reward. Tell me how that shit is fair. Killing a boss after 300 wipes and you do not get the reward after all that. Oh, the reward isn't the fun itself of killing the boss. Give me a fucking break. The reward is the fucking loot that you don't have to show for yourself. Like, you can't even show that loot to your friends that you killed this boss. Oh, there you have the achievement. Yeah, okay. You give a shit about an achievement. Fuck my life. So
Fast
dumb.
forward to today, and in both classic and modern WoW, boosting of all kinds has become an extremely prevalent phenomenon.
Of course.
Judgment of the practice and its effects aside,
Wait a second. Where's this?
extremely prevalent.
Is that from Heroes of the Storm? That doesn't look like a WoW cinematic. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Is Alex Strauss in Heroes of the Storm? Oh yeah, she is. Okay, so that was the Alex Strauss cinematic in Heroes of the Storm.
Judgment judgment of the practice and its effects aside, buying boosts is easily the most time-efficient way to play the game.
Yep.
You effectively trade gold for
Especially if you don't like
VIP
playing
pass
it.
to dungeons and raids. You
Like
get to
everyone
join
in
a
Classic
skilled
WoW.
and geared group and do whatever you want. With guaranteed frictionless gameplay, a fast clear, lots of XP, whatever gear drops, it can all be yours. Luck, skill, and time no longer matter. What matters is the size of your pouch of gold.
Size of your
Boosting
dick.
isn't the only prevalent way to spend gold for efficiency. With Classic's return, GDKP runs became a common fixture, more common than they ever were in the past, replacing, in some cases, the majority of existing pugs. And the idea is simple. Players bid against each other with gold for loot drops in a raid. The highest bidder gets the item, and their gold goes into a pot that is then split between everyone else at the end. This is generally a group split between two groups. Number one, boosters, who are there to help clear while selling their weekly lockdown and boosting service. And then
Wait, which one's this? Is this in Classic? No. Yeah, it looks like it's Classic. He looks so different though. He looks so different from what it looks now, but this is like a year ago or some shit.
And of course the buyers, who are there with the intent
Maybe
to
it's the
slam
camera.
down some big money, many thousands of gold, on the items that drop. And depending on who you ask, this is either a plague on Classic that has made it pay to play, reducing gearing and raiding to an economic...
GDKP has been there since like Wrath or TBC even, I don't even know, but like it's always been there. Like, bro, look, I would never run in a GDKP because I don't believe in buying your gear. At the same time, I wouldn't play Classic because there is no fucking gear to be had unless you like have the best fucking luck in the fucking world, okay? Like, it is what it is. The gameplay is like average at best and the loot is subpar.
war, or it's
Dog shit is what I mean.
to organize raids that actually benefits everyone involved. Like with
Yeah,
boosting,
true.
time is traded for gold and vice versa. Not directly, but the buyer is paying for a fast raid clear and for a better chance at items that otherwise could take weeks of normal progress with a guild to obtain.
Yep.
Rather than
And here's the thing, but like, you're saying it like it's a bad thing. Bro, these people are making that choice because the progress itself is dog shit. Finding the people is dog shit. Playing with those people is dog shit. It's not that like the GDKP is at fault, it's everything else that is at fault. It's not like the path of least resistance in this case. It is a bit, but it's also just because it sucks playing the game the way it was intended, because the way it was intended was for 2003. It's how it is. How come there's almost no, like, as far as I know, I haven't heard of GDKP Mythic Nyaloth, Mythic, what's it called? Sepulchre. I haven't heard of a GDKP like that. Wonder why?
Dice or invest the time. Now the size of your coin purse is the measure of success. Both of these methods are actually sanctioned by Blizzard, and they are the continuation of a trend. Gold being used to save time.
Yep.
Except it's now happening in parts of the game that were not originally intended.
Yeah, because of the
cynical
token.
viewpoint is that we've moved away from using gold to buy convenience in natural ways like ordering delivery food in real life, to doing something more akin to buying a trophy instead of winning one, devaluing the effort required.
That's why, bro, when I see someone with cutting edge, unless I know they're like from a top guild, if I see a cutting edge on like some random in Mythic Plus 15 and like he's barely geared and shit, I'm like, yeah, you definitely bought it, you know? It's like, oh no, I got it on my main, like, yeah, bro, you bought it, let's be real. Like, yeah, you bought it.
An advocate for boosting and GDKP would argue that this is just economics at play. Gold has value, time has value, and items have value. So, a trade between the three is obvious. It's just a natural evolution of how the virtual world's economy has evolved. And if Blizzard are okay with it, it must be fine, right?
When I get reports of situation where a player feels that they have been scammed, we will investigate thoroughly into lies and take the appropriate actions. If the situation does not require intervention by a customer support representative, then it will be down to the players themselves to resolve the issue. Yeah. We would suggest that players avoid such schemes if possible and only join raids and instances with trusted players such as friends and guildmates. If you are unsure about our policies on scamming, then you are welcome to read through them here. Please keep in mind that our policies apply for all players, no matter which guild they're in, how long they have been playing, or their status in the game.
Well, sort of. Trading gold for time is a testament how valuable these virtual economies are, and while we all play by the rules, it's a fun little microcosm, but still a game. And this is where the crucial flaw comes in, and the unspoken
If you get scammed, I mean.
in virtual worlds where an escape,
Why does this guy look familiar?
is completely shattered. Gold has value in Azeroth, money has value in the real world, and time has value in both Azeroth and the real world. So trading money, a function of our limited time, for gold, also a function of time, was inevitable.
Secondary market exists. As long as these games are developing economies with robust currencies that they're not selling themselves,
You're going to take advantage of it to monetize it however you can.
if I don't, somebody else will.
Those were the words of Jared Sagoda, the self-proclaimed king of Chinese gold farmers. He claims to have been a key figure in connecting Chinese gold suppliers to the rest of the world's sellers, dropping the price of gold substantially.
Oh, was it definitely not a gold farmer? Yeah.
To the rest of the world's sellers, dropping the price of gold substantially by relying on cheap foreign labor, much like with chocolate, coffee, and cut centers. And of course, was making a lot of money for his trouble. And for those exploits, Jared eventually ended up in the Forbes China 30 Under 30, founding the games company that's responsible for League of Angels and is now the CEO of a blockchain gaming firm. By the time Wrath of the Lich King was wrapping up, Jared estimated that MMO, real money transactions, was a multi-million-dollar industry and that 90%
Probably
of it
is.
was World of Warcraft. Blizzard
At that
were
time,
not
yeah.
exactly happy with this, because it risked their players' accounts, made their game unfair, and ultimately went against that
Last Square Enix's action against over 800 players of its Final Fantasy XI, Blizzard has taken action against over 1,000 World of Warcraft accounts, instituting permanent bans for violating the game's terms of service. A specific offense that earned players a ban was the practice of gold farming, or playing continuously with the sole purpose of earning in-game money for the purposes of selling it offline through eBay or sites through such as IGE.
A spoken rule. Real money shouldn't be infecting this virtual world, and it was against their terms of service. They went on a long and intense crusade to protect it, starting by taking out the suppliers. Unfortunately for Blizzard, though, the demand for gold was so strong that the sellers always found a way back in,
100%.
and it was hurting the game. It is actually estimated that only 30% of gold is farmed legitimately, while 50% is from botting and 20% is from the seedy side. Account cleaning via phishing and hacking.
Oh,
Cash
nice.
accounts bought with stolen credit cards, you name it. So eventually,
I love that he's making, like, he's saying it like, you name it. Like, it's such an insidious plan. Like, bro, okay, whatever.
Blizzard needed another way, and they learned an old adage: if you can't beat him, join him. Like Eve, Guild Wars 2, and EverQuest 2 had done before them. Enter 2015's WoW Token.
Look, the thing is, honestly, I don't think they had a choice. It is what it is. Like, they didn't have a choice. Like, I mean, you cannot fight that battle against bots. Like, there's just not enough manpower. Like, bots were creating bots at that point, you know? So you make bots to create bots to farm gold. Like, you're not gonna win this with manpower.
It took the multi-million-dollar RMT market and brought most of it.
The thing is, this is all they really had to do. Make gold not as relevant in end game stuff. That's literally all they had to do. Make it so you cannot buy shit with gold. You can only buy with other shit that you get from other places. Right? Here's an idea. How about this? When you do Mythic Plus 10 or above, you get this token. When you do raids heroic or above, you get this token. When you do PvP at a certain amount, at a certain rate, you get this token. With this token, you can buy a currency item with which you can use to buy some shit. Gold would only be used to buy stuff from a previous patch and expansions. So you cannot use gold for anything that is current. Boom, problem solved. You do not need gold. The only thing you can use gold for now is buying game time. But you can't buy items, you can't buy anything, you can't buy that token with gold, nothing. Gold is irrelevant for current patches, and that's it. Boom, your gold problems is over. Bots cannot farm that shit. You cannot make a solo bot to clear Mythic plus 10s and above, to win PvPs, to do Heroic and plus raids and above solo. It's not gonna happen. Boom, you solved all your problems.
In-house, offering a legitimate and risk-free way to trade money for gold. Or, for those with excess gold, to trade gold for a close equivalent to money. Player A gives $20 to Blizzard, Player B gives Player A a few $100,000 gold, and Blizzard gives Player B $14.99 to spend at the company store.
Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
$5.01 of raw profit on every transaction.
Yeah. But again, for the player who bought with gold, it doesn't matter, and Blizzard's making its fair share. I mean, like, it's fine. They provide the service. I don't think that's the problem. The problem itself is the gold, not even like that. Like, if people are willing to buy a token for $20 to make some in-game gold, when gold would not be relevant, then that's their problem. Just make gold less relevant. That's pretty much it.
And the best part, none of that money ever leaves Blizzard's vault. More importantly, it does mean the time is money paradigm was set in stone. Now, for players in developed countries, going to work is in fact the most efficient way to farm gold. And according to Blizzard, that extends to your progress too, via allowed activities like boosting and everything else that requires gold. This isn't the case officially in Classic. With RMT, we all know what happens. The token wasn't the first time they monetized their own game's time-gobbling design. About a year before the token, they introduced paid level boosts. Instead of players spending time with
Because they knew no one wants to level up.
boring, repetitive gameplay, they could just pay to.
Honestly, the only thing I think that they should do with the character boosts is you cannot use character boosts until you have a max level character. Then level boost is fine.
Reach max level and pay they did. Power leveling was supposedly taking up 1/3 of the total RMT
My
market,
bicep.
so this was Blizzard's anti-RMT prototype.
Mm-hmm.
And despite some pushback, it was ultimately a service players wanted, so it stayed. In
Yep.
times gone by, people would talk about somebody being an eBay character, an eBay player. The idea being that they just purchased an account on eBay and basically sucked at the game.
It is what it is.
Now that is something that happens on the company's store. Blizzard,
Yep.
in a way, created the problem, or alternatively you could
Yep,
say,
yep, 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 yep.
balanced the game, but they noticed that players were buying other solutions, so they just sold one themselves. But it
Yeah.
didn't start there.
Oh, buddy. I love the Real Money Auction House. I made good money there. I don't see why it was such a problem.
3
I mean, made good BNet money there, yeah, but whatever.
The Money Auction House from 2012 was their first experiment, and it failed. They made a pretty amateur mistake.
I honestly don't think, like, bro, this is not what killed Diablo 3. So it's like people were complaining about, but it's like this is not the reason people stopped playing Diablo 3. If the game was fucking good, this would not be a problem. That's all it is.
Sellers could cash out via PayPal with a 15% fee. Q, a market obliterated by bots farming golden items and a whole segment of players who didn't even bother with the game. They just traded back and forth, farmed items.
Then don't do it. Go farm your own shit. I mean, bro, who cares about this? This is what I'm saying. If the game was good, people would not care about this. Because if the game was good, you wouldn't care about buying this item. You would go and you farm it because it's fun to play. Like, the game was bad. That's all it is. That being said, I love Diablo 3 more than I love the expansion for it, because Demon Hunter Life Stealing Trap Master was so much fun.
The impact this had in the game was not lost on Blizzard either.
Okay.
This is what Jay Wilson, the director of Diablo 3, told a room full of developers at GDC.
What I want is to kill this guy and have cool stuff drop
Yeah.
and get items.
Yeah.
But this is actually what happened.
Yeah. Basically. Or instead, what you could have done is make Diablo actually drop cool stuff. That would have actually worked way better. But he didn't, because the best way to farm was doing like Asmodon runs. Like literally like the whole path to Asmodon and Asmodon himself. That was the best way to find loot. Not even Diablo. Which kind of sucks.
So, if anyone can't see, it says money, best superpower ever. Which I totally agree with, because Iron Man's cool. But it's not good for a game like Diablo. It doesn't feel good to get items from killing monsters.
Meanwhile, Diablo Immortal. Tell me about that one real quick.
Real Money Auction House was unceremoniously closed with Reaper of Souls release, and a lot has changed since then. Over 8 years later, though, Jay Wilson's warning has, for the most part, fallen on deaf ears. In modern World of Warcraft, Blizzard offer the WoW token, meaning the official stance is time is money and time is gold, so money is gold. But they don't offer it in Classic, so what's the difference? It goes back to that
The Classic is just garbage game, so why offer it there? It's just, honestly, no, that's not it. Classic would just be too much of a backlash, so they didn't. Also, you don't need to buy Classic, you just need game subscription, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, again, like, who cares about Classic? Like, that's pretty much the gist of it. It's like, they just want to release Classic without backlash. That was pretty much it.
Spoken rule. When World of Warcraft was first created,
And
when
Bardashir.
virtual worlds were an escape, games were still niche and a lot less profitable as a result.
Yep.
The world felt a lot slower too, which helped us sit down and enjoy the slow-paced reward cycle of...
Yeah, again, that was great back in the day. I loved just like logging on my character and going places, doing 1-2 quests at a time, just exploring. Holy shit, this area has level 30 mobs, I'm level 10, all that stuff. I loved that stuff. Yes, it was cool, but it's not a new world anymore. You know where all the mobs are, you know how to get shit done, you know where the quests are, you know what the quests are. The sense of adventure in WoW is gone. And also, the sense of like anything in, like, you're gonna take out Dragonflight, right? You think you're gonna be exploring, but honestly you kind of already know that there's not much to explore. You're not expecting. What was the last time that exploring was a thing? Because they added all these treasure chests, right, that appear in your map. Like, holy shit, that's cool. So that made you actually want to go around places and try to find more treasure chests, which was also a good experience, but you didn't know it at the time. And then you had TomTom, and then you didn't need to explore anymore. But that was the last time you need to explore. Bastion, you didn't care about anything. It's like all the treasures. This is the thing. The treasures in WoD actually gave you something like all order hall, not order hall, garrison resources and all that, and like some BOP items that like were an upgrade and stuff like that. But it was also a surprise at the time before TomTom, right? Or TomTom, whatever. In Legion, they offered like nothing. In BFA, they offered like nothing. In Shadowlands, they offer nothing, right? So it's like, you go there and you get like a gray item and some gold. It's like, bro, like, why did they even bother, right? And then it's like, they teach you not to even go for these treasure chests. So now you're not even excited. Even if Dragonflight is going to add all these treasure chests, if they're not, you're going to be like, whatever. It's like probably some dog shit, bullshit that you don't need. Right, so they literally taught you like not to care about these treasure chests, therefore not to care about exploring. So now all you're gonna do is you're gonna go in a straight line. Here's my quest, boom, quest and return. Right, so that's all you're gonna do now in WoW, which makes the game innately already not fun to play. Right, you already don't care about the game because you know you're just gonna run straight to the quest and back, because there's no reason to explore anymore. Right. all the mobs are a joke to kill, especially if you were a mythic raider. Your gear is best in slot for at least 7 levels, if not all the way to max level. Right, so from 60 to 67 minimum, your gear is best in slot, so you have nothing even to look forward to when the expansion hits in terms of gear. And progression is just gonna like annihilate everything, gonna pull everything, gonna do your quest in one pull, and you're gonna go back and return the quest, get your XP, and all you're doing is you're rushing to max level because there's nothing else for you to do. The world is not challenging for you at all. The only challenge is keeping your sanity while doing mindless shit for like 16 hours to get to max level. That's really like the hardest part about WoW right now. Like when an expansion hits, is to get to max level without fucking dying of boredom. And then when you get to max level, you're doing the dungeons because the raid is not out yet. You maybe have PvP, but like if you just grind it from 6 to 70 like on launch without break, you're not allowed people to PvP with either. So okay, there goes that idea. So you got your dungeons. I think Mythic 0 is out on release, so you can do that. If not, you're doing the heroic dungeons. And then getting ready for the Mythic 0 release the next week, and then the Mythic Pluses. That's literally all you're doing. Like the game plan is already set. You already know exactly what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you get the best in slot or not. You're gonna need item level to be able to do Mythic Zeros, to be able to enter. Actually, you can enter without item level, so whatever. You need item level to do the heroic queues. Once you get through the heroic queues, you're gonna do Mythic Zeros. You get the base Mythic Zero items, you get your key, and you start farming Mythic Pluses. And that's it until the raid releases, and then you're gonna do the raid. Like, you already know the battle plan. There's no sense of exploration in WoW. So it's like, who gives a shit about any of this?
Of farming something out. Over the years since then, the world underwent massive change, and the games industry with it.
Yeah.
There used to be publishers racing to release the best game for a market, became giant corporations hell-bent on capturing millions of hours of engagement from global audiences. Then, before anyone realized it, games weren't just competing with games anymore. No, we had truly entered the attention economy.
Yeah. Wow, the worst thing, because like it's not so much about like getting people to play a game, it's grabbing their attention long enough for them to stay.
We don't have enough time to experience everything there is, so time is in higher demand than ever.
Yep.
Like Netflix said when they were at their height, their toughest competitor was sleep.
True.
Social media, YouTube,
Big true.
Activision Blizzard, gambling sites, they all have the same goal: your attention, your time. And they are in
People
arms
play
race
gambling on
together.
stream, crazy.
Now, psychologists and neuroscientists like those at Dopamine Labs are being hired to make everything more addictive, and executives of major companies
Alok Kanoja, creator of Healthy Gamer, the GG, Harvard-trained addiction psychiatrist.
like Chamath Palihapitiya,
Oh, that's the Facebook thing.
of user growth at Facebook, are publicly
Yeah.
confessing their guilt
Yeah.
over the chain reaction
It doesn't matter
they
though.
started. This hyperspeed
Look, at the end of the day, someone was gonna do it. I am glad that the one who did it at least had the was apologetic enough about damage he had done to at least say it all out and make people know, even though no one cares. But I am happy that the one who actually did it was someone like that instead of someone who would just keep monetizing on it.
version of reality that we now
I'm not
live in
saying he's a great person. I'm just saying it's better that someone like that did it than someone who's truly evil.
has inflated the value of time, so we are less likely to sit down for a few hours and enjoy a slow adventure when we need to progress and experience faster. Even modern WoW has been designed to reward you harder and faster than ever before.
Yeah, it's still like... And still Final Fantasy does it better. How?
World quests are bite-sized.
In the world of instant gratification, especially in North America, a Japanese company, a Japanese game is doing a way better job at rewarding people than Blizzard. Holy fuck.
Quest made for rapid engagement, and Mythic Plus dungeons are an infinite slot machine lever to pull. Getting a mount is no longer a slow burn affair with a reputation and a meaningful quest, narrative, context. Most of them now are random rewards for pulling some form of lever. A rare kill, a paragon box, it's all the same. The result is just number go up. The developers are looking at statistics, analysed by the same sorts of people who analyse metrics for Facebook, for Twitter, for Netflix, and for the entire field of user engagement that optimises for the same thing. It's not your satisfaction, not how much fun you have, not how happy you are. Those are very hard to put into numbers.
What do you mean? Blizzard already put them into numbers. Look at Torghast participation. Clearly people like Torghast. Look at the participation. They're happy with Torghast, man.
Don't think about how you feel. Analyze what you do. They optimize for time.
How was that stare?
Active users, monthly active users, session one.
Every time any user, not just a unique user, opens your app, that counts as a session. Similar to DAUs, the total number of sessions require some context to be a helpful number. Specifically focus on the average number of sessions per DAU, daily active users, as this metric can tell you about how engaged users are with your game.
Yeah. Your worth reduced to a number, time. It's the only irreplaceable resource you have, and they measure every second of it. And now that those who drive the economy have learned how to hold your time hostage, they are turning that time into money. Lost Ark might be the best example of the changing tide. In 2022, a PC MMO releases with a clear design that tells the player to their face they can spend money to spend less time playing, and it's met as a game with resounding praise. After players breeze through the story content, the item level wall shows up and tells players to log in, complete dailies and weeklies on as many alts as possible to get materials to gamble in the homing system to advance. Except, those materials, they can be sold on the player auction house using a currency.
Bro, his precision is insane though.
That you can buy with real money. And a few steps to disguise it.
I think he plays like 2700, right? Like speed for the mouse. It's crazy.
Your money is just as good as your time.
That's so sharp.
The more that other players spend their time, the more you feel the value of spending your money.
I'm not gonna lie, this game looks really good. I played it, right? But like, it's really fucking boring. It's so boring, man. The game is so, it looks good, but that's all it is. It just looks good. It's crazy boring.
Blizzard proved themselves guilty.
Look how good it looks, man.
Diablo Immortal. It uses almost every trick in the dark grimoire of mobile
like
games.
I wanna go and play it again, maybe get to max level, but I like because every time I look at it, it's like, man, this looks such a cool game. But then it's like I remember it's like, oh, but this is such a fucking boring game. It's like you literally have to do like you can pretty much sleepwalk and get to max level. That's how hard like the content is. The story is garbage. Like who cares? Kind of story, right? It's like all the grinds. Like think about all the grinds you have to do. Like yeah, fuck that shit. All right, the bosses are just whatever. It's like I do not like ARPG bosses. They're usually extremely uncomfortable to play around, right? Especially how they are in Lost Ark. They just like cover like half your screen, man. It's not comfortable.
To funnel users into paying real money to save real.
PoE is even worse with their bosses. Like you can't even see the boss. The boss is like a normal size, but you can't zoom out enough to actually see what the fuck the boss is doing.
World time. Progress faster, get stronger, all with effectively no limit unless you're a multi-millionaire.
Oh yeah, brother.
You spend your time by completing the chores or your money by skipping. The problem that gave birth to
I legit thought Demon Hunter was a barbarian because of how zoomed in it is.
Diablo Immortal is just an attitude. The time and money are interchangeable when playing good.
I hate the strafe in Diablo Immortal. I cannot believe they gave strafe a cooldown. Fucking idiots.
That attitude has long infected WoW. Classic was supposed to be a throwback to the good old days, back when there felt like there was more time. And for
Well,
many it
stop
was.
looking at
But it
Bardashir,
has not
man.
been immune to today's time is money gaming problem.
Why are we looking at the same clip of
Rampant boosting
WoW
and
Plus?
GDKB,
Yeah.
all fueled by RMT. It is insane in Classic TBC. Classic has also been fighting off plagues of bots, farming gold, inflating the economy, and the result is more RMT. The players with the biggest bank accounts now have the biggest pouches of gold. And that means they can level the fastest, they can bid in the most gear, they can progress. And the more people are doing that, the fewer groups there are doing it the old-fashioned way. The more people...
Just means the game is shit. Straight up, no one wants to do it the old-fashioned way because the old-fashioned way is wrong. It was good for the time, but it's too fucking slow, too fucking tedious for people to actually get into it. Bro, imagine like you're having like, you work 9 to 5, you come home, you have like an hour to 2 hours of play. That means you can actually do only one Mythic Plus. Because there's no way you're getting 2 groups ready and doing your Mythic Plus within that time limit. There's no way.
get into the boosting economy,
Blame the game, man.
less people are just chilling, trying to form a good old-fashioned pug.
Meanwhile, you go to like a boosting service on Discord, you can get 3 runs going. Because the group is formed like that. Right? It's like, yeah, are you saving time? Yeah, but the reason you're saving time is because it is so much faster. It's not like it's a bit faster, which is like, okay, it's not a big deal. It is so much faster. It's like 3 times faster than what you would, like, if fuck, it's even way more fast than that, actually. To form the group is like way more, it's like 10 times faster. To do the dungeon maybe is twice faster.
Boosting is rampant because by design players feel the constant pressure of time, the consistent ticking of the daily and weekly clock, the rat race for geek.
It's not that they're pressured by time, I mean they are, but it's only because the game is designed to be so fucking slow. That's why. If I have a full Saturday free, let's say I have like 10 AM to 6 PM, I can just play World of Warcraft. How many Mythic Pluses do you think I'll get done? Maybe 15 if I have a constant group. That's nothing, bro. Same with League of Legends. League of Legends game is like 20 to 40 minutes. Right? Let's say average 30. Okay, that's 20 games. That does not sound like a lot of games. Though I feel like League of Legends is fine. Like 20 games is actually like mentally draining at that point. But like it doesn't sound like a lot. 15 Mythic Pluses on a Saturday, like if you're lucky, if you're legit, you don't have friends and you just try and do a Mythic Plus, right? Like get your 10 plus 15s on a Saturday, it's gonna take you well over 20 hours to get your 10, just because you have to succeed in doing them. You have to find a group. People usually don't stay. And you probably can't get certain dungeons. If you have certain dungeons, you're kind of fucked. You have to reset the dungeon to you have to like lower it or whatever. You have to like finish it to roll into a different one, or like you have to find someone else who has a dungeon that you can do, because some keys are just extremely hard on some weeks if you're like barely at the skill level and the gear level, right? It is so fucking tedious. Meanwhile, you can just go on Discord and just fucking buy it. Boom, you bought 10 boosts. Like you spent like maybe 5 hours and you're good.
Here, and they know they can swipe to make all the anxiety go away. In a world where Blizzard have done a good job of teaching
Like, it's so much faster.
Yet have put high-level play at the core of progression, content can be frustrating. So why not buy that VIP pass?
Yep, basically.
Blizzard know this too.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
they design it like shit.
exists. It exists because time is money. And it's going to
It's a good video.
worse. This is where the script has actually ended. And it's where I'm going to leave you with a warning for the future of gaming, one that we should all be rather afraid of. Play to earn is one of the latest buzzwords. It's mostly there.
Oh yeah, don't.
There is an example of this that happened entirely within the Battle.net ecosystem.
Yes.
A player with an extreme amount of World of Warcraft gold was able to take
the Diablo Immortal stuff,
turn it into Battle.net balance,
and
then buy a hell of a lot of power in Diablo Immortal.
Yep.
This is worrying. This is what they want with play to earn. They want to turn it all into a time.
The metaverse. It's the metaverse. It is coming.
Virtual worlds will never be the
The
same.
metaverse is coming.
They will never be
Yeah.
the retreat that we all adored in times gone. By now you've probably worked out that
cool
this
script, though.
video was a little bit different from what we normally do.
Yeah, dark as
To be
fuck.
honest, I'd really like to continue making videos like this.
It's a cool
We have
video,
a few things planned on the very earliest days of Blizzard Entertainment, back when they weren't called Blizzard. Things that led to this franchise's existence. There's just so many stories that we want to tell that don't really work in the way that we normally do videos. They're not a Warcraft news video, they're not a lore video. So I appreciate you watching this far in something that's a bit new. If you've got any feedback, or perhaps any stories that you think you'd like us to look into kind of deeply on the game's long history, well, do let me know. I'd love to see what we can do. And of course, if you want to support the sponsor, that very much did make today's video possible and makes risks and the like possible, of course, that is Skillshare. Thank them for their support. You can check out Ali's incredible stuff in those links down below. So that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, anyways, so yeah, those are my thoughts. I mean, it's a good video overall. But look, I have never actually, okay, that's not true. I have spent money in video games, mobile games, too much, because it was literally impossible to play the game without it. And like, you know, but like, I was dumb. But when it comes to like PC games, I don't think I've ever spent money to advance, because it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's your character. Like, you're trying to build it. You don't just like pay to skip content with it. It's like you're trying to like make the character, you know, like worth the time. You know, if you just buy it, then you're devaluing what you're doing in the game. That's how I feel about it. So like, I never pay. And like, again, if the game is so bad that you feel like you have to buy shit in order to make the game work for you, yo, the game is clearly not good. Like, just stop playing the game. The game is fucking shit. Like, the reason people are doing GDKP in Classic so much is because everyone knows that Classic is actually fucking dog shit. The progression in Classic is shit. The amount of drops in Classic is shit. For 40 people, there's like 2 drops. Like, fuck that. Or like, whatever, there's 4 drops, whatever. So you have like a 10% chance. So you have 10% chance to get a drop that dropped. But out of all the drops that can drop, you have maybe a 5% chance. So you have a 0.5% chance to get the item you want. Does that sound like a good chance to you? And you can only do it once a week? That's so fucking dumb. Like, why? Why would you want to play that? Obviously, you're gonna pay to make it faster, because it's a fucking shit show. Right? TBC is gonna be the same garbage. Wrath is a bit better, but still kind of shit. The only good thing with Wrath is like the tokens actually make you like get like actual valuable gear. TBC kind of valuable, but like it runs out like as soon as Black Temple is out. It's like the gear you can get with the Valor, or like with the tokens, is kind of poo-poo. Right, Wrath, at least you can, with tokens, you can get kind of like ICC gear, right? Or like upgrade, because like ICC drops its own tokens, so with the tokens you can buy gear. But yeah, man, like, if the game makes it so that you have to buy in order to like feel that you're progressing, stop playing the game. The game is fucking dog shit. Right? If the game was good, you wouldn't feel the need to buy, right? It's like, and that's all I have to say about this shit. WoW sucks, and yeah, good luck with the Dragonflight. Hopefully I'll see you there, probably not.